What up YouTube, Topaz Yates back again, man. As we back from Thanksgiving holiday, I hope everybody had a good holiday. As you know, I'm in full-fledged catch-up mode right now. As something did drop over this week that I definitely wanted to touch on the first thing, and that's when the Diplomats Diplomatic Ties came out, but yet at the same time, J.R. Ryder, Hellrell, and 40 Cal came up with their own collaboration project called the Upstage, in which I want to touch on them together because they are directly related. Because Diplomatic Ties is a highly anticipated reunion project right there by the core diplomats in Joel Santana, Cameron, Jim Jones, Freaky Zeke's on there and such, man. But yet the Upstage is pretty much all the affiliates that were always involved in the earlier Dipset works that are rather bitter right now with them, as they specifically decided to drop a project right as the Diplomats project come out to just outshine them and such. And to be real with you, they definitely did the job here. Like production-wise, music-wise, quality songs, man, better punchlines, all of that goes towards J.R. Ryder and Hellrell, and all of them is by far a better project. But let's go ahead and break down the Diplomatic Ties project first here. Because it comes off as like a super lackluster project where there's a bunch of lackluster songs that seem to be designed for like radio spins. Songs like Uptown and that No Sleep with Tory Lanez on it, as I've already did a review for that Sauce Boys, where that was pretty terrible as well, as that's a consistent theme throughout this project as well, with the same thing that they did with the Sauce Boys. They're trying to update the terminology to what all of the youth is saying right now, but yet they're still doing the same Dipset style music, but it's by far not even close to what they used to be able to do in the past. Now, the main form of growth that I could honestly see throughout this entire project was really with Cameron here, because the direction that he took with his verses was unique. It's not so heavy on punchlines or anything like that. He was taking the direction of, I'm giving you true stories that tie directly in to the concepts of every song. And we all have heard of these stories before and such. And that's what made that somewhat hot. But at the end of the day, he's not delivering great verses though. It kind of goes along with I've been saying a while ago, man. Like when people begin to get washed up, they begin to tell you about all of the things that they've done in the past instead of talking about something new and dope and creative to go ahead and continue to push towards the future. And that's what I see what ultimately Dipset is like. Now let's look at my favorite songs off this project, looking at Stay Down. Well, the basic concept of this is pretty much just staying loyal to the game, staying loyal to your crews and all of that stuff, man. As Jim Jones has a pretty solid verse as he's saying things like, while you grown men are out here dancing the kiki, we was out in Harlem dancing on the kikis. If this was the NBA, then y'all would be in the D-League. Like, these were decent balls right here, while Cameron is doing what I said he's doing. Like, he's pretty much giving us a story about Dame Dash pretty much rocking with Kanye West. As Cameron is coming to Dame Dash like this, the only reason why Kanye West rocks with you, Dame, is because you're the only one that's rocking with him out of all of Rockefeller. Saying, why are you rocking with this coon Uncle Tom right here who's proven to be exactly that throughout the years and such? Cam is all but saying that I was right about this dude that really wasn't down for the whole squad. He really wasn't down for the lifestyle that all of Dipset and Rockefeller was ultimately all about. And my only other song that I really liked off of this project was that Dipset Forever, where the concept of this is self-explanatory. It's Dipset Forever. That's why they came back. Like, no matter how long down the road it's going to be, these individuals will forever be Dipset. And there were some solid things being said in here. Like how Cameron is saying that he's showing no love, like he's beefing with Cupid. That was kind of decent. While Joel Santana probably had the best verse on this particular song. Like how he said it's like spades, how he make everybody else follow suit. And how he's saying that all these other dudes out here can't hang with him, so they should go out and get a noose. nooses and people who hung people by the neck and all of that stuff. Like, that was slick stuff. But you could tell by the way that Joel's was rhyming the whole time, and the pictures that came out not that long ago, or how he's missing a whole bunch of teeth. You could tell that's messing with his entire flow and delivery. As I said, man, Cameron doing a little bit of the storytelling and stuff, saying that, okay, Dipset, they the ones who brought us Max B and Joel Santana and all of that, while Joel Santana pretty much follows suit and does the same kind of thing within his verse. And that's something that I said for a while. Like, once you start talking about things that you've done before in the past, instead of pushing forward, you're all but talking about how you're washed up. Other songs that we should talk about, like that On God, where this is again them trying to use the new youth terminology in order to update themselves, but yet it just didn't pan out at all. It's the same exact thing that they tried to do with Sauce Boys, and neither one of those songs were any good. Even with things like when Joel Santana saying that I've never been G-checked unless it's a check that these labels are signing him to. Or another story that Cameron's talking about on how when he got shot that we all heard about, he was saying that he was out there with Dipset when he got shot, and other people within Dipset got shot, and he's putting this on God. And the last song I want to talk about is that Dipset Locks, where it's obvious, like, it's just a song with Dipset and Locks, and they didn't spend the time to come up with any concept or anything. This is them just attempting to spit bars all the way through. And to be real with you, with Cool and Dre up on there, like, on paper, this should have been a great song, but yet it just fell short on every level. With Joel Santana probably got the best bar on this, man, where he's saying this chick is swallowing him up and doing the beatbox. Like, that was a cool bar, but yet disappointing when you look at the caliber of lyricists that's within this joint. And I'm not saying that they all did terrible, but yet there was no, like, really great punchlines or anything to be had. It was a song where everybody's just going off of their names instead of putting forth the best possible song. Overall, this project was better than what I expected, but yet I expected it to be complete trash. Wow, it's just aight, to say the least. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. But let's go ahead and jump into this Upstage, man, where honestly, I feel as though it got better production throughout this joint, and the lyricism, it was of course going to go in this way because J.R. Writer is a better writer than everybody on all of these projects. But let's go ahead and start off with my favorite songs off this project, that Protocol, where J.R. Writer just comes in swinging on this joint, saying that he's so cold that he gives refrigerators the shivers, and he'll come through with the blazers like he's Damian Lillard. Like, that was a fireball. And even Hell Rell came in and did his thing as well. Not only on this song, but on a good selection of this project. Like how he said, like, a waist trainer's how I curve these broads. Like, that was a slick punchline. And then he had some pretty sweet wordplay in there on how I bought them all, like, out in Baltimore. Like, that was a pretty slick wordplay. My next favorite song was that Moral to This Story, where this was a very loosely based story that they're all pretty much saying as they're all going back and forth. And to be real with you, you really don't get that like that no more outside of individuals like the Locks, who will come together and do a full-fledged story, but yet each of them are taking their own directions with it. They're somewhat doing that, but yet it's not as tight as what the Locks would do. But because it's not so tight, it gave the opportunity for everybody to spit some punchlines in there. Like how J.R. Writer's saying that I'm throwing money where you bury that, that's your restitution. And how he's clicking off this PCS like he's Metro Boomin. Like, that was really slick. Where the story is ultimately about they are doing their own things in the streets or whatever, as they're all trying to get drugs from this Mexican named Hector and such, but yet Hector ends up ripping them off and they're all about to get violent. That's the basic story right there. But yet, again, a nice little punchline that I believe came from 40 Cal, where he's saying that Hector gave us bad work like it was a lazy Mexican. My last favorite song was that Involved, where I really liked everything about that joint: production, the overall theme, the overall feel of it, and some of the bars that's in there, like how J.R. Wright saying that he got chicks that's just popping up on him like it's Cosby accusers and such, man, which That was pretty dope of a punchline, but the whole song just came together really dope. Now, those were my favorite songs off of this, but you can't take away anything from a lot of these other songs because you're getting bars, in which that's really what you're supposed to come here to get. Like that No Reunions word that all but tells you the whole concept of the whole project, where, you know, they're saying that we don't have to ever do reunions because we come together as family, we do our own thing. And that's a straight up shot at the Dipset project. And how J.R. Ryder's saying, like, you illiterates, you ain't got nothing for Ryder. As he's knocking these people, calling them illiterates, but yet as a literal writer, you illiterates have nothing for J.R. Ryder. Saying that you need to stop with the whispering and mumbling. What is y'all, ventriloquist? And how 40 Cal saying that dudes swear that they own the game until I run up and they steal it off of them like it's Boonk Gang. From, like, if you guys remember the guy who on YouTube and all that, I'm not even sure if he's still making videos where he would just run into stores and steal stuff and run out and say Boonk Gang and all that. Like, these were solid punchlines. Even though I didn't like the song in particular, it makes it worthwhile of a listen because of how they spit. Songs like Sriracha, where that production is a production that I've heard a lot of times for a very long while, man. It's all but an instrumental. They're taking an instrumental, flipping it a little bit and such, man, but yet not enough for it to become its own song, and I take away points for that. But what's being said on that song makes it worthwhile as well. Saying there must have been a premature birth because, son, you not ready. And saying, how many times are you gonna play yourself? Like a Kevin Hart commercial. Well, that was dope because play yourself, like say DJ Khaled, you just played yourself. Meant it in that aspect in the beginning, but then, you know, Kevin Hart owns a radio station, and on his radio station he's playing ads for whatever it is he's doing. How many times are you playing yourself? Kevin Hart commercial. Like, slick stuff like that make the vast majority of this project really worthwhile, making it vastly superior to that Dipset project, man. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10, but yet it's not a phenomenal project though. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.